We depend on technology for nearly everything. It has infused almost every aspect of our lives and our organizations. Can you imagine running your organization without technology? I can't. Yet, despite its constant presence, the implementation of new technology continues to fail and not deliver on its intended result. Why? Because many leaders buy into 3 myths. I'm going to explore those myths now, as well as what you can do to increase adoption and get a greater return on your investment. Stay tuned. Myth number 1, technology is the solution to the problem. In an age of there's an app for that, it's easy to fall into the trap of turning to technology as the solution to a problem. I see it with behavior change. Do a quick search on your phone and you'll find hundreds of apps that will tell you how they can help you develop and sustain any new habit that you want. And yes, while it's true that what you measure gets attention, much more needs to be considered and accomplished before you can develop and sustain that new habit and get your return on that habit tracking app. 2 problems arise when you buy into the myth that technology is the solution. The first is that you tend to take a build it and they will come approach, as if the technology, that new SAP, that marketing or other system will solve the problem. And this type of thinking sets you up for failure because you focus too much energy on implementing the technology and ignore or fail to give enough time and energy to the behaviors, beliefs, attitudes, and processes that created the problem and must change to achieve a different outcome. The beliefs, behaviors, and the processes people use with the technologies is what determines its value and whether ultimately that technology helps and delivers on your investment. For example, one leader shared with me how his company spent years and tens of thousands of dollars implementing a new enterprise system, only to spend thousands more tweaking it after implementation, and then even more time and energy after several failed attempts with that new system to build an interface so that the users could use that new system as if it was the old system. All of the value of that new technology was lost. The second problem when we buy into that myth that technology is the solution is that your business and operational leaders view the implementation as a technology project. So the leadership of that project, of that adoption, falls to IT instead of you, the business and operational leaders of your area. Yes, IT leadership is required, but it isn't enough. To get a return on your investment, for that new technology to deliver its results, it must be fully embedded within the operation. And that can't happen without the full and active involvement of your business and operational leaders and the people who will use that technology. Without the leadership of the business, the processes required for adoption are thwarted. And as a result, you get the implementation of the technology, but it fails to deliver on the intended outcome and the return on your investment. And with each failed or poorly adopted piece of technology, enabling the next one and other organizational change initiatives just becomes harder. What can you do to overcome this myth? First, stop viewing technology as the solution and see it as an enabler. Alone, It doesn't solve the business problems, but it can be and should be a part of the solution. Second, take an outcome approach. Instead of problem solving, when we work with our clients, one of the first things we help them do is create their outcome story. Your outcome story clearly, concisely, and concretely describes what your team, department, or the organization would look and feel like if that problem didn't exist or the opportunity was achieved. The value of this approach is you think backwards, allowing you to create a holistic solution that addresses the gap between where you are and where you need to be to achieve the desired outcome. I've done a previous video on why you need an outcome story, and I'll post it in the show notes below. Myth number 2, when people are trained on the new system, they will adopt it. Training is necessary, but it's not enough to enable sustainable change. IT training programs are designed to teach people how to use the technology. However, for your technology to deliver, it must be fully integrated into people's operational behaviors and practices. And vice versa, the behaviors and processes must support the use of that technology. To achieve the required level of integration, you need to enable the time and the activities to support the unlearning process. Technology is usually implemented to replace, augment, or add to a function that already exists in your organization. For example, automating a manual process or updating an existing system like your CRM. Therefore, the technology will require people to do similar work in a different way. For that to happen, we must let go through an unlearning process. Unlearning is the letting go of the beliefs, the behaviors, and activities that support your current work style, and creating the space for those new neural pathways required to learn new beliefs, new behaviors, and a new work style. Unlearning must begin before training, and it is at least and possibly more difficult than learning the new task. So what can you do to overcome this myth? Shift from a focus on just training people to use the technology to learning and adoption. This shift enables a broader and holistic view of what is needed to integrate the technology and create and sustain those new behaviors or activities and achieve your intended outcome. Myth number 3, people are interested in the technology. We're not. I hate to break it to you. Maybe some are, but most of us aren't. They're interested in getting their work done quickly and efficiently. Have you ever noticed that car commercials, they don't discuss or show how the engine works? Instead, they focus on the car's appearance and the feelings you will experience when you drive it, or the feelings they want you to have when you drive it. It's similar with your technology in your organization. The people who will use that technology don't want to know what's under the hood. They want to know what it will look and feel like to do their work using that technology. Its impact on how they work now, process behaviors and habits, and their experience with it before they commit. One IT manager discovered people were more engaged, asked more questions, and were more open to learning when he stopped talking about all the bells and whistles of the technology and focused on what it would look and feel like and how it would help them get their work done using the new technology. So what can you do to overcome this myth? Stop focusing just on the technology. Focus on the processes, on the behaviors, on the beliefs that will enable the people to develop new habits around how they work and integrate that technology. actively involve the people who will use that technology in the design, the planning, and the integration of those new behaviors and processes so they can embed that technology into their practices. Technology implementations are expensive, challenging, energy intensive. Overcoming these three myths will help you ensure that you get the highest return on your investment. I hope you found this video helpful. If you haven't already, this would be a great time to subscribe and hit that like button. Bye for now.